My name's Stuart West, and today I'll be going over my final project. First things first, you can see on the page here that I've got the grade level and standard covered. I'm an eighth grade teacher, and I did the standard social studies eighth grade one, which is a geography standard. And the specific part of that standard I chose to do was the location of Georgia's physical features and the explanation as to why they're important to the state of Georgia. You can see I've listed the 6 physical features right there with the standard, and you can see them there. Next, on my page, I have the instructions for the lesson, and I actually chose to write them out as well as make a quick video explaining them. So the students would be able to read and watch the video there for their explanation. So up next on page 2, let me get there. You can see the learning objective. The learning objective for the assignment is that the students will be able to locate all 6 physical features on a blank Georgia map, and the students will also be able to describe each feature and why it's important to Georgia. A little bit of facts and historical explanation as to why the feature is important and why we're learning about it, really. Up next, I have the assessments. There will be, the final assessment is a common assessment, and it's over the whole geography standard and will include the physical features portion. But also, I linked 2 quizzes to the final project. One is a location quiz where the students actually have to find the features on a map, and the other is more factual based, where they assess their learning as to why the physical features are important to Georgia. Also, underneath my assessments, I linked 2 study guides. One is kind of a notes-based study guide, and the other is definitions of each physical feature. So I linked those there for the students to use as well. Up next on my final project page is the lesson plans. I linked them there. If you click on them, it'll take you to my lesson plans. And then right underneath that, we have my remediation plans. If the students, and what's cool about the assessments that we use on Elluminate is it will actually tell you what standard was mastered, what standard wasn't mastered. It'll even break it down to specific portions of the standard, like your student knew how to locate the features, but they weren't able to master why they're important. So using Elluminate really allows you to come up with a good remediation plan based on each student. And so what I've done for my remediation plan is I've linked an entirely different presentation through Google Docs, one that was not used throughout the final project, so it would be a new presentation for the students to view. And I've also linked a Quizlet assignment where the students will have to actually do kind of a small quiz to show that they fully understand the standard. So both assignments there are different than anything else linked in the final project. So it's completely new remediation tool for them to use. Up next, let me click on it, is my instructional video over Georgia's physical features. This one I used Screen-O-Matic here, same thing I'm using now, and I linked a quick PowerPoint presentation showing where the physical features are located, and I talk a little bit about each physical feature in this presentation. All right, below that, I used Visme to create a slideshow about each physical feature, and the students will be able to click through, as you can see here, and read and also locate. This kind of has both parts of the standard involved. They can read about the physical feature as well as look at some pictures of the physical feature throughout the presentation. There's the fall line there, the Okefenokee Swamp there, the Chattahoochee River, and so forth and so on. The students would be able to cruise through the presentation as a learning tool. On my curation tool, I used Padlet, and I've linked some quick videos. These are videos I actually use really in class, and they're done by Georgia Public Broadcasting. Really great and modern stuff. They've updated them within the past year. So I've linked 5 videos as well as another map for the students to use as to help them really locate the features and understand where they are in the state of Georgia. And the last thing on this page is my Google Forms quiz. I've linked the quiz here, and the students will click on it. And as I said before, I told them it's for a grade. And with a Google Forms quiz, the rubric's kind of embedded, and it will give them a grade as soon as they finish and hit submit. So they will know how well they did on the quiz immediately. All right, let me scroll up and show you my last portion of my final project. So these are my resources that I've linked here. The first one, as I tell the students, is not for a grade, just practice, is a Kahoot review, a little review game that I've linked for them there. The second resource is also for practice, but I tell the students it will be graded, and it's a quizzes review. Similar to Kahoot, but it allows the students to go at their own pace, and you can actually embed it to where it gives the students a grade at the end. So this one I let them know will be for a grade. The first Kahoot assignment was not for a grade, it's just for practice. The third resource I've embedded is something from their digital textbook, and it's a resource, it's a blank map of Georgia, and they can click, it's similar to a virtual field trip, but it's really just a map, and as they click around the map, it shows them where different physical features are located. So let's see if I can pull it up. It did this to me a second ago. I had to click on it twice. Takes it a minute. There we go. So the students can actually click around and see, like if I click on Chattahoochee River, it'll highlight it and show me where it is. If I click on Savannah River, Fall Line, and this actual feature has some of the physical features in Georgia that they're not responsible for knowing. So it's a little bit extra, but it definitely has the features that they're responsible for knowing. There you can see the barrier islands are highlighted on the coast, the Okefenokee Swamp down there, the Blue Ridge Mountains up there, the highest peak in Georgia, Brasstown Bald, located there. So it's just a little interactive feature that allows them to really learn where they're at, and allows them to play around with it a little bit there. And as I tell them, this is not for a grade either. This is just to practice locating your physical features so that you truly know where they are. The last resource I used, I've embedded here, and this is a straight location quiz, and I let them know this is for a grade, and their grade will be shown to them as soon as they submit the quiz. The rubric's kind of built in. But this one doesn't have much factual information like the other one did. This is straight location. As you can see, what feature does the green line represent? And they would be able to choose from their four choices: Savannah River, Fall Line, Barrier Island, Blue Ridge Mountains, and so forth and so on. I've put every physical feature there for the students to cruise through. And as soon as they hit submit here, it will give them a grade. So I let them know that that assignment is graded. So that's my final project and what I've created. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you very much.